All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakak Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. And greetings, salutations, and blessings unto you elect out there. All right, you that changed your lives towards righteousness to apply wisdom in your lives in these last days, that you may earn your salvation from Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Shalom unto you. And you do this in all humility and sincerity. Shalom unto you. All right, your brother Shaquat from the Las Vegas church. Now in my last video, I had not came across it, but I was gonna bring up Daniel, the first chapter. Okay, it was basically about eating certain things in moderation. All right, and so I decided to do a whole separate lesson with it instead of using it in the previous lesson. The previous lesson was this one here. Okay, this is the video here. It was named New World Meat Shortages. Okay, and the McPickle, okay, was on there because of the meat shortages and the prices, and how Walmart is locking up the meat because people have that decadent spirit that they feel like they haven't eaten or haven't been filled or satisfied at the dinner table until they've had their fill of meat. Okay, but in the ancient world, you didn't really eat meat on such a high level. And if you go back to your parents or even grandparents' generation, meat wasn't the staple in other cuisines in the earth. Meat isn't the staple of a satisfying plate. And it's very unhealthy to just consume large amounts of meat. But when you start looking at the psychology behind it in this Western society that Esau runs, okay, he's a controller of that. That's what he was up to. And so him being in those Caucasus Mountains and so on and so forth, you know, when he can get his hands on some meat, it was so precious to him because he would, you know, or even being out in the wilderness hunting, that's what he loved to do. So meat was there for him, okay? And you can even go into the time with Cain, when Cain brought sacrifices, you know, instead of the bringing the best like Abel had brought, okay? He kept the best for himself, which was the meat sacrifices. They understood what types of sacrifices the Most High honored back then and what he required that men brought. With all that being said, this Western world has a heavy, decadent spirit of feeling like meat should be a part of every meal, okay? Like wine should be a part of every meal, okay? And it's not the such, all right? And this is just to show balance, because yeah, Passover comes, we eat meat, we enjoy, but when you go through life and as your body begins to age and your digestive system, because of all of these processed foods and this Western diet, it takes a heavy toll on it. All right, so I'm gonna just go into even more into this video. It was showing you how eating meat won't be, you know, the thing that it is now. It won't be commonplace to the point that people will still crave meat, and then people are going to turn to cannibalism. As you see in every post-apocalyptic movie that comes out, there's always an element of cannibalism in it. From The Road, where they have those people underground, you know, in the floor, in the basement or whatever of that house, or in Book of Eli, you know, they had it. There was even another movie I seen. I don't remember the name of it. It was on years ago on Netflix. I remember the movie because they had jarred peaches, preserved peaches in a jar, and they were like enjoying it so much. They're like, because there was no fruit, you know, and that time everything was all gone. But people were out to kill each other to eat them. Okay, so bringing this in to be wise upon what the prophecies tell us, that hey, there's gonna be a meat shortage, man. Okay, that we have to see if I can get out of this. And if there's going to be a meat shortage, we should be preparing ourselves and our digestion and the way we live, to start reflecting with the times that we're coming into. So our bodies don't, what's the word? You can use the word crave, but don't, or needing it, like with having withdrawals from a heavy meat diet, okay, where your body's already presenting itself to accept more grain, more vegetables, and so on and so forth. Okay, that doesn't mean don't enjoy a steak or whatever, or carne asada tacos or whatever. Enjoy your food, but at the same time, understand that this famine of food is truly coming, and meat eventually won't be on the menu. Neither will bread. All right, and I read that in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. So anyway, this is Daniel, the 1st chapter. So I'll start here at verse 10. It says, and the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who have appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse, liking than the children that are of your sort? Then, meaning you're hungry. Why should he see you, that I got you in this, he's got you in these positions, but why should you not look as good as the rest of your people that don't have the same rank? Okay? So then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Like, it was funny, I'm watching the movie, and Lord willing I can do a breakdown on it. And it was in this movie, A Man in the Iron Mask. And in it, there was a guy that was giving out rotten food to the people. And the king had no problem with it till it was brought to his attention by D'Artagnan. And when it was brought to his attention, he said, "Well, give them better food, and then off with the head of the man that was giving them that." He basically was going to kill the guy for giving out rotten food. Well, that's the thing. You guys aren't being fed. Well, my head is in danger. I'm in danger to be beheaded. Okay. Then said Daniel to Melzar, to whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, their boss basically, says Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days. Let's do an experiment for 10 days. And let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. And when you go into pulse, it's herbs and leafy greens. Okay? I'll go into it. Got to be scholarly nowadays, says the deacon of Sakari. Let's see. Okay, I looked up Paul's biblical definition. It says, I was overjoyed to learn its meaning was not vegetables, yeah, right, but foods made of seeds, grains, etc. I also studied the Bible dictionary and learned that pulse in Hebrew refers to seeds. What does seeds grow from? Anyway, and may include the grain and leguminous beans, vegetables, or any other edible seeds. Yeah, okay. That's what he said. Okay, so let's see what else we got, if we can get a different definition. Okay, so here's the definition that person brought up. Pulse, the second one, the noun, the edible seeds of various leguminous plants, for example, chickpeas, lentils, and beans. Okay, the plant or plants producing pulses. Okay, that's leafies. As he didn't want to say, porridge of meal or pulse. All right, pollen it even goes into in the English. All right, now let's go into the blue letter. Blue letter here. That's 10 days. Pulse to eat. All right. Zorion. It says vegetables as sown. Okay. Food, pulse, vegetables. Okay. So it shows you that basically the point that I'm making is eating as a half fast, opposed to flesh or more delicate food. Okay, you see that? Which here, the vegetables, herbs, which here in America, that's what people eat. Bread, sweet breads, and cakes and candies and meat and bread is like the top foods of this society right now, okay, in this Western world, okay. Why this is coming up this way? Let's go back. All right. And it says in water to drink, it says, then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat the portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. Okay? So Daniel said, let's suppose what happens when we don't eat the king's meat. We don't have a meat-based diet, and we go to a vegetable-based diet with water instead of meat and wine. All right? It says, and I'm using this to implore us to understand this famine is coming, and we would it would behoove us, it would benefit us to try to move away from a meat-based diet, from a sugar-based diet, from a carb-based diet. Does that mean don't eat carbs? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. To say don't eat meat? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Okay? But dial it back, all right? And I'm going to show you why. It says, so he consented to them in this matter and proved them 10 days. It's only 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Okay? Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink and gave them pulse. Okay, vegetables. All right, now let's go to what was I at? Sirach 37. It's like the end of the chapter. Yep. It says Sirach 37 and 27. It says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life. Now, what's thy soul in thy life? Okay. Thy soul is basically your spirit versus your flesh. And that's a constant back and forth tug of war battle that you fight. Okay. And it's meant for us to be spiritual and learn to rule over our flesh. Okay. That's what this is meant to do. All right. This is what this time is for us to work on and to practice now. Okay. And it says, and see what is evil for it, and the things that are bad for you, give not unto that unto it. And so, if you know you got problems with overeating, or you got problems with over drinking, don't give yourself to that situation. Whatever the situations are, like if you enjoy going out to the club, but you get pissy drunk and you overdo it, and don't give yourself into that realm. Personally, I know, in the world, I enjoy going out to the club and mingling among women and having drinks and dancing and all of that. Hey, as I came into this truth, I quickly learned, I was a bit hard-headed at it, but I learned eventually that, hey, that's not the realm that I should frequent in. Not to say I can't go out and enjoy times with brothers if brothers want to do certain things on certain occasions, but I know not to put myself in that situation repeatedly, okay, because it's not good for my life. Reading on, it says, for all things are not profitable for all men. Some men could eat a lot of meat, some men could drink a lot of drink, okay, but it's not profitable for everybody else, to other certain men, okay. That's when, matter of fact, let me grab this one right. Matter of fact, I'll read it, then I'll grab that other one. It said, be not unsatiable in anything, unsatisfied, basically, or have a desire to not be satisfied with things. Okay? It said, be not, let me go back 28. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. So everything is not for everybody, okay? And it's not a knock on you, just everything's not for everybody. Some men don't drink at all. Some men don't deal with women at all. Not everything's for everybody. All right? It says, be not insatiable in anything, in dainty thing, or too greedy upon meats, meaning overeating with meat, okay? For excess of meats bringeth sickness, For excess of meat bringing sickness. Meat-based diets, you wonder why the American population is sickly, man, and in the hospitals. Okay? With colon cancers and so on and so forth. All right? It says, and surfeiting will turn into choler. By surfeiting, many have perished, and he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. And I was referring to the one that's either, I believe it's in Corinthians or in Romans, but basically what it was talking about, one eateth meats, one eateth herbs, but don't knock the other one for being able to eat that, because certain men can eat it and some men can't. I've learned now that I have to really dial back my meat intake. Yeah, I love meat and it's delicious and blah, 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 blah. I grew up with it and everything, but knowing how my digestive system works, that's not always the best thing for me at this age, at this time in my life now, And then there's health studies on it as well that you can Google and look up. But let's go into that word, surfeiting. Surfeiting definition, it says, cause someone to desire no more of something as a result of having consumed or done it to excess. Okay, meaning you get sick and tired of it. I'm tired of eating this, man. I'm tired of doing that. Because you've overdone it. Gorge, overfill, glut, okay? Overfeed, consume too much of something. He never surfeited on rich wine. Okay? Super, from suffer, above, in excess, do, facere. Okay? Above or in excess, do. Above and excess. Doing too much, man. All right? And let's look up choler. Choler. We'll just look up the definition. I gotta go. It says, in medieval science and medicine, one of the 4 bodily humors identified with bile and believed to be associated with peevish or irascible temperament. Hold on, anger. Let's keep going. Cholera, diarrhea. See it right there? Diarrhea, meaning your stomach bile is too strong, man, because it has to break down all these other things you got in you. All right, so I do got to go. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. Giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, Bashim Rakakodash, that belong to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Greedy salutations and blessings unto the elect. To the next one, Shalom.